Welcome everyone to Lunch with LeAnn. Today is Wednesday, December 15th, and I will thank the person who reminded me last week that I said the date wrong. Oh my goodness, but I did confirm today is officially December 15th. And if this is the first time joining Lunch with LeAnn, it is a weekly program that is hosted by LINC, a Center for Independent Living in Southwest Idaho. Our guests on Lunch with LeAnn join us every Wednesday to share some fun conversation around lunch, what access and independent living means to them, and share about resources that may help us in living the life of our choosing in our communities. And we do all of this in the first 15 to 20 minutes of your lunch break. And today we are wrapping up our LINC Legends series, and I am excited and honored to have Melva joining us. And she is here to talk with us a little bit about her time at LINC and some of her favorite stories. So welcome, Melva, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, LeAnn.
Of course, so excited. Before we get into our interview with Melva, a quick programming note. We want you to know that Lunch with LeAnn is filmed live and covers a wide range of topics, some of which may be sensitive to some viewers. And we ask that you listen and watch responsibly and know that guests on Lunch with LeAnn are here to represent resources and information for our community and may or may not represent LINC's official organizational position on topics. We'd also like to acknowledge and welcome Sierra, our American Sign Language interpreter. I also have one last programming note that these are available on YouTube on our channel, LINC Idaho TV, with corrected captioning shortly after the program. All right, well, Melva, we are here today to focus and talk a little bit about your awesome. And I know you don't like to always talk about your awesome, so we appreciate that you're here. Before we get into that, I'd love to know what you're having for lunch. We're a little late today, but what did you make for lunch today?
I have a taco. It's a soft shell taco filled with a hamburger and tomatoes and cheese, and a wonderful lunch for me. And
yeah, you? That sounds like a great lunch. Well, I have been on the move. I'm on the move today, folks. So if you guys remember Jamie Davis, who was a past guest on the show, and she was talking about emergency preparedness. Well, guys, this is a shout out to Jamie. In the biz, I think they call that a callback. I don't really know. I'm not a professional. I just work at LINC. But call back to Jamie. I actually have my tuna packet here, and I put it on a tortilla just like Melva, and have myself a little tuna sandwich. And this has lime and basil in it. So I'm very excited for that. But I wouldn't have had lunch without Jamie's tip about always packing a little pack of tuna. So that's what I'm having, Melva.
awesome.
Yeah, got some protein. So Melva, you've been with LINC since 1993.
Yes.
That's a lot of years of service to our mission. Would you mind telling some of our viewers a little bit about what drew you back in the early 90s to come and apply to work at this Center for Independent Living?
Well, I have to be honest. When I applied to LINC, I was just looking for a job. I have friends who are deaf. I also have a niece who doesn't speak. And so we had to learn sign language for her just to communicate. But I was just looking for a job, and they had a part-time secretary position open. So I thought, oh, I can do that. So I started out as a part-time secretary, and it was pretty interesting. Shortly after that, one of the other ladies that was working there, she was half-time, she quit. So I ended up being full-time. Probably 2 years later, they had a position open for an independent living specialist. So I applied for that and got that job. And then about 5 years after that, they needed a new director for Twin Falls. I applied and got the position then. And so that's what I've been doing since. I enjoy it. Enjoy working with people with disabilities, and I enjoy the mission. I've always practiced independent living. I just didn't know what it was until I started for LINC.
I love what you said there, Melva. I love that. I've always practiced independent living. I just didn't know what it was in context to really the civil rights movement that LINC is a part of. That's a very, very cool way. So Melva, I know with all those years, you got some dirt or some stories or some favorite memories. Would you mind sharing some of those with the viewers that have tuned in today?
When I first started, we had a program that was called FROG, and that stood for Friends and Recreation Opportunities Group. And it was a group that met every Thursday, and we did some fun things. We would go bowling, we'd go out to lunch, we would play games, we'd go look at Christmas tree lights. And it was just as a group of folks who were like-minded to go and enjoy themselves without fear of anyone looking down or asking questions or just, not making them feel welcome. So that was my first meeting with a group of folks with a wide range of disabilities. And all of the folks that we met with became friends. We all would meet and laugh and have a good time. So that was the first part. And I really enjoyed the bowling. It was, but I had to quit bowling with most of them because I couldn't keep up. I mean, it was like some people used a ramp to bowl, and they were so good at it that I just would fetch the balls because I just couldn't keep up. So, but I enjoyed the recreation part. I felt that that was a way that folks could interact together and find camaraderie. And so that was probably the biggest part of it. I worked with a gentleman who had a lifelong disability, and we spent many hours talking about civil rights issues and rights of folks with disabilities, and really how we could change just our part of the world, and what we could do in Twin Falls to make things better and more accessible for folks.
That is great. And Melva, I'm not going to tell this story correctly, so please correction corner me right away when I mistake this. But I distinctly, one of my greatest lessons that I had a chance to learn while working alongside you was from a story that you shared freely with me about a gentleman that you knew, and I don't know if you worked at LINC or if you just knew him through LINC, but picking out cards and reading cards in the community. So from my recollection, the story was this person was blind or low vision, and one of those opportunities you had is to help pick out cards and read those cards. Do you remember that story? It's one of those that just really showed the significance to me of walking alongside people, that here at LINC.
Yeah, I worked with him. His name was Paul. He had a very small peephole that he could see through with large magnification, but it would just take him forever to try to read greeting cards. So I would go with him so he could buy his wife a birthday card or a Valentine's card or whatever, and I'd help him pick those out. I would read them to him, and then he could see the front cover, so he could decide if that's what he wanted. But we would do that. So, I was always there to be able to help him pick out things. And he was my best friend at work for many years because we were so close as far as, I was able to help him and he was able to share his insight and his lessons learned. And that helped me grow as a person assisting people with disabilities.
Well, that and many other stories are near and dear to my heart. I could probably take everyone's afternoon and not just their quick lunch break to talk about stories that I've had the pleasure of hearing. And so, Melva, we've got about 3 or 4 minutes left. And I just know all of your fans, there are lots of Melva fans out there, are just dying to know what you're looking forward to in this very well-earned retirement that you're about to embark on. Do you have any big plans?
First of all, I'm going to take a couple months and just readjust my home, make it the way I want it, spend the time that I haven't had time to do. And then I want to get out. And in the spring, I'm going to maybe just travel around the southern Idaho, just do some fun little outings and just be out in the sun and do some walking and just not sitting behind a desk. So I'm thoroughly going to enjoy that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love, are there any hot spots in southern Idaho that maybe you haven't visited for a while or places you're excited to visit and see from the lens of retirement?
I would like to go to the Craters of the Moon again. I haven't been there in a long time. So the spring would be a good time to go there since summertime gets a little warm, but would thoroughly enjoy going out there and just for a day trip and have some, picnic out there.
That sounds great. I recently just went to Craters of the Moon and can't wait to go back. Idaho just has so many opportunities with our recreation and all of those great things to see. And Craters of the Moon is definitely one of those gems. Definitely. Well, Melva, if you have any closing words or any final thoughts, I would love just to give you a little bit of space to offer those up to the viewers. And after you do that, I want to let everyone know about how they might be able to attend a virtual celebration for you tomorrow. So do you have any final thoughts?
I do. I just want to thank everyone at LINC, past and present, who have assisted me along my way and helped me along this journey. And the people that I have worked with, the consumers, I will miss them greatly because this has really been a passion. It started out as a job and became a passion. So I will miss the work. But there are great people to carry it on, and LINC will continue to thrive and grow and serve the community and serve people with disabilities.
Yes, we will, Melva, and many of that legacy is because of what we've learned from you as a LINC legend. So I do have a few quick things for some calls to action if you are interested. Melva Rocks is basically how we all look at Melva. If those of you who may not know, Melva is an incredible jewelry maker, loves gems, loves stones, loves rock and roll. So we have really themed Melva's retirement around that Melva's Rocks. So if you're watching this on Facebook, go ahead and scroll. You'll see an opportunity to find Melva Rocks. And we're making rocks to continue Melva's legacy far and wide. So I encourage you to look at those. And in this video description as well is a link to register for Melva's virtual going away retirement party that is scheduled for tomorrow at 3:30. So it will be on Zoom. If you click that link, you can enter your information and we will ensure that you get an invitation to join that Zoom party. So don't fret, Melva is here through the end of the year. So if you'd like to send her a note via email or via our info box, you're welcome to do that. Melva, I just want to thank you for coming on the show, for ending our LINC Legend series, and also I really look forward to seeing the adventures that you and your loved ones get to go on after you retire from hours and hours and hours of service since 1993 to the independent movement, to the independent philosophy, and also to LINC, where we execute independent living programs. So thank you, Melva.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. And on LINC's behalf, everyone, Melva and I are going to eat our late lunches and we're going to say ciao for now.
Bye, everyone.